Do you think it will actually change anything with policy?
Thanks for inviting me. It remains to be seen. It depends on what the agenda is and what we're trying to accomplish. Mexico is our shared partner in this problem at the border. What we face in this challenge, they face as well. And so it's important to get them on board, if you will. But I will tell you that if I was in this negotiation, they would not be setting the agenda. We are their number one trading partner. They are an important ally to us. We want them to be friendly. We want the good, hardworking and people of Mexico to have good leadership, but they should not be setting the agenda for this meeting. And here's the point. If we incentivize people from all over the world to cross the border illegally, they have to come through Mexico if they're going to do it over land. Why would Mexico help us if that's our policy? And in effect, what's happening at the border is that over half of everyone that shows up who crosses the border illegally gets released into the United States. Why would Mexico risk their own political capital, their own frontline personnel, to try to do more to protect their own border when we're not doing it for ourselves? That's the key to this negotiation. We have to change our policies, and there are plenty of incentives that we can offer Mexico to get them to help us and share this problem, but not while the policy allows for this mass wave of humanity to cross into Mexico and then come into the United States.
So tell me specifically, what incentives, what are the first things that you think need to be on the table here?
Well, we need to tell them we're changing policy. We need to say that crossing the border is illegal and the people who do it will be held to account for it in a more immediate sense. And that means you wait in Mexico for your hearings or detain people until they can have a hearing. That's very difficult to do. There's lots of logistics and costs involved. But if people know that they're going to be released when they come across the border illegally, they're going to continue to come. And so Mexico will see the share of that. This is enriching the cartels in Mexico. It's destabilizing their governance as well. And so the incentive is let's fix the problem. Let's jointly share the solution. And that's an incentive in and of itself. If they patrol and control their own southern border, that would be more revenue into the treasury of Mexico. That's in their interest. It would be less risk as it relates to the cartels being stronger. It would be less risk for terrorists entering Mexico. It would be less risk for other narcotics and contraband coming into Mexico. If they did that, that would help us. But they have to be incentivized to do it. And right now, our policy has no incentive for them whatsoever.
I appreciate you breaking down those incentives, and I do want to talk about the cartels in just a moment. But we did hear directly from Mexico's president today. He says that Congress should offer more support to Latin America instead of putting up, quote, barriers, barbed wire fences on the river, or thinking about building walls. That was his quote. What is your response to that?
Our immigration policy is driven by U.S. interests. It is not in our interest to open relationships with Venezuela that remove sanctions from them. It is not in our interest to open negotiations and reduce sanctions with Cuba. Why is that in America's interest? I will, not being a Mexican, I will say it's not in the interest of Mexico either. We can deepen our relationship in trade and travel and tourism with Mexico. Venezuela and Cuba don't get a vote in this. Our immigration policy should serve the interests of Americans, and that's where we need to start this conversation. Yeah, it'd be great if everybody got along, but socialist state and dictators in Venezuela and Cuba are not good allies for the United States. I'll suggest they're not good allies with Mexico. And so let's get on a framework that says we're going to fix our policy to help you control your border. So do more of that, and then let's try to solve this problem together. Adding in the other elements of this is not, it's just not, it shouldn't be part of the negotiation. The more complicated you make it, the harder it is to solve.
I hear you, Ron. And with the time we have, I do want to get your perspective on Texas Governor Abbott signing a law. It grants federal authority to local law enforcement. So it allows them to arrest and put in the proceedings to deport an individual who they suspect is in this country illegally. Opponents of this argue that this will encourage racial profiling, also inflict fear on communities. Do you think this law is the right move?
Well, something has to be done. Since October 1st of this year, that's fiscal year 24 for the government, 730,000 encounters by CBP. That's just the encounters. They're getting great help from the Texas Guard. They're getting great help from the governor and the Department of Public Safety. Without that, this problem would be much, much bigger. And so something has to be done. The failure of the federal government and the Department of Homeland Security not the front line, but the policymakers, that failure has caused Texas to act in a way it wouldn't otherwise. And so, yeah, there's always a problem in plan implementation. They're going to have to be very careful about how they do this, but something has to be done. And I'm grateful that
Yeah.
the DPS and the Guard are helping my former colleagues.
Yeah, Ron, and I hear you that something has to be done, that the numbers are indisputable. Is this what needs to be done?
This is a solution that involves putting consequences on people who cross the border illegally. As I read the text of the implementation, if DPS sees somebody cross the border illegally, other state and local law enforcement, if they see people cross the border illegally, they have the means under the law now to address that. A consequence for breaking the law is always a good thing.
Okay.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.